and get a good blend. Now, a friend of mine once told me that, look, now, as soon as you get married and you have your own kids, you should consider starting your own business. Because if you want to keep a corporate job and keep your home, one of them is going to suffer. You are either not going to be climbing up the corporate ladder as fast as you would have if you didn't have all of that, or you're going to be doing well at work and someone else will be raising your kids for you because you will not be there for them. And I thought about it for so long. Now, she told me this a long time ago, way before I got married. And I found myself thinking about it in recent times. So I'm glad we get to talk about it today on the show. So, ladies, I'm going to throw this to you. And also, you can reach us on WhatsApp on 0244 340 437. That's the number to reach us on WhatsApp. 0244 340 437. WhatsApp me, let me know what you think. Is it possible to achieve a good work-life balance as a career woman? Or do you believe that, look, if you want to have it all, one side is going to suffer, or you have to compromise on both and be a little bit here and a little bit there and then have both? You can't be big in both places. I start with you, Gloria.
Okay. Good evening to all our listeners. Work-life balance. So what is it? What do we mean by that? I think it's different for every individual. It's something that means something different for every individual. Mm-hmm. You're looking at a balance between your personal goals, your personal achievements, vis-a-vis your work responsibilities and targets and whatnots. And I personally believe it's greatly influenced by culture, by your geographical location.
Is that right?
And yes, and sometimes even by the money you earn.
Okay.
Here in Ghana, if I should zero it down, we have a culture of working normally 8 to 5, and maybe some space over the weekend and in your leave period. Standard leave period is around, average leave period, let me say 20 days to 25 days, depending on where you are or which sector you are in. But averagely, we are looking at around that time. Now, in that time, you're expecting to do something for yourself, either for family, for health, to meet a personal goal, maybe to learn how to bake, to have some time with children and husband and all that. Mm-hmm. Now, the term itself was coined, I think, around 1970s, 80s. And it's, I think, UK and US originated term. Now, it became very, 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 very popular where companies were using it as an attraction to get high-level technocrats into their companies. So if a company, in fact, companies were being graded on their work-life balance.
Okay.
But so if you have your systems, or you have a way of getting your employees to have a balance between their responsibilities and their targets and their personal achievements, you're rated as a company to go to. Here in Ghana, we are not so keen in that. But as a woman, I think that every person tries to make that effort without even realizing it. On the weekend, I think even a Sunday spending eating fufu with your family is a work-life balance. It doesn't necessarily mean taking out money, going on a vacation every time, but making the least opportunity you get for your personal achievements and your personal goals. And so it's achievable as a woman. You may not do it on a big scale like others will do it, like the whites or the middle class or the high class will do it. But in your own small way, every time you spend in creating an impact with your family, I think it adds up to your work-life balance. And so it's possible.
And I guess that's where the struggle is a little bit, in your own small way.
Yes.
Perhaps prior to your big dreams and your work and all of that, and maybe the children coming in and all of that, you had your own big ways of doing things.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're probably used to a particular
way of life.
Way of life with your family.
Yeah.
Or you are very driven and you probably just started work. You know where you want to go to.
Yeah.
You know where you want to take your career. You have this big dream. And then as you grow and then you begin to maybe you get married, you have kids and all of that, you realize that, look, if I want to be able to get to where I want to get to, then I have to be at work. I have to work like everyone is working.
5, yes.
I have to be there.
Yes.
When you
Yes.
call that, hey, your baby is not eating at
Yes.
home, you can't get up and go.
Yes.
You're even afraid of going on maternity leave. People have real struggles because they want to be able to climb the corporate ladder, get to where they've always dreamt of getting to. But the probability of getting there and still keeping the family life that they want to have is highly, let me not say impossible, but difficult.
No, I can't agree with you more. I can't agree with you more. I'm sure we have people listening who are thinking, okay, where did all these dreams go? Where did all these plans go? It's reality. It's something you face every day. If you can see positions that you could easily take up going under the carpet to somebody else, you can easily see something you could have easily achieved, a target you could easily achieve, but for your state, maybe pregnant, you are not able to, you are not given the opportunity to. And it's not your fault. I personally believe that in life you will not get it all. Some sacrifice has to be made for the future goals. So take it one day at a time. Shine in your little corner. You may not be able to. Honestly, you may not be able. If I tell you I wanted to be a consultant in aviation and have my own aviation industry, airline, my own airline running, and be very, very, very prominent in aviation, you will not believe. But today I'm an investment banker and I'm enjoying it. I'm taking it one day at a time. Maybe in the next 10, 20 years, it will be possible. But for now, family pressures may not allow me to. That's not bad in itself. That itself is not bad. Because you don't know what the other person too is suffering from. Whoever is holding herself back from having children or from getting married, you don't know what she's suffering from night by night and day by day. That's my take.
Yes.
What do you say?
Well, I believe in life balance. I mean, when we put an aspect into work and make it seem as if work is different from life, it stands on its own. That's when it becomes a problem. I mean, generally a balance in life, because there's nothing like sickness, life balance, and all other things. It's life. And we do have, women are good at multitasking. But it's funny, when you do your research, you don't hear things like work-life balance for men. Is more of work-life balance for women, and mostly married women. But generally, life in general there are big turns in life all the time. There are decisions you need to make, big decisions that you will change your life. So generally in life, there needs to be a balance. Funny enough, I am single, not have a baby. But last year, I faced a huge problem when it was stress related, and it was known as work-life balance, maybe stroke stress related. And for somebody who does not have children and a husband and all these other things that we need to multitask, generally life makes you change things. You have to have big changes to turn around and make difficult decisions. So generally, we have to focus on life in general, multitasking, making decisions, prioritizing, and focusing on how to achieve your goals. And if you don't have a balanced life, it may lead to stress. It may lead to you not accomplishing your goals. But that's, for me, if when you focus on work, it just makes it a bit more complicated in terms of you have your goal, you want to achieve work. But there are lots of people who are single, who do not have like a wife, who do not have like a child and a husband, and cannot even achieve their goals, not necessarily because of work or because of how they have to multitask, but generally maybe because of emotions or not being able to achieve their goals. As she said the last time, she just said that when you are, somebody is facing another problem, and the problem may not be their family, but generally life has many issues. Things come up, and you have to focus on it.
Okay, so you don't think that you should consciously make an effort to, find a good balance between the various aspects of your life? I think we talk about work-life balance because really, when you look at your life in general, it appears to be,
there are stages in life. We go through school. We go through, after school automatically becomes work. and after school you have to face life. Even during school you are facing life. No one talks about school life balance. It's life.
Because at that stage, perhaps your responsibilities aren't as
So
many as they
no, but
become
that's why growth is important.
after
As you
school.
grow older, you do have responsibilities, and when you have responsibilities, as you grow older, you do have responsibilities, and when you have responsibilities, you are equipped to face those responsibilities. Once you make it solely a problem, or once you put a label on it becomes a problem, in my opinion. Because you are saying work-life balance, and so it does become a problem. So we shouldn't focus on it as work-life balance. We should focus on it as life, and life must be balanced. And life has lots of aspects with it that needs to be balanced. So that's just my opinion.
But just to add to what Rachel said,
Okay.
she mentioned that there's nothing like school-life balance. In our type of world, or where we come from, the system, or however the placement or government or how we've been set up, does not support our school life. Our school life is basically on the shoulders of our parents and on guardians and caretakers. So the moment you're done from school, you're expected to work and take care of probably, excuse me, those who took care of you through school.
And yourself.
And yourself. You have to prove to society that, yes, really, I'm done with school. And if I'm done with school, I am really producing these results through the car I'm owning, through the house I'm owning, through the money I earn, by contributions at work. And all these things come up by adding more pressure to your workload, because you have to work to produce these kind of incomes and results. That being said, when you realize that you're earning this much, it becomes very difficult for you to say that, okay, from the beginning, even without family, like she was saying, to say that, okay, I'm putting this time away for my own personal achievements and goals.
Yeah.
It becomes very difficult as a young person. Then when family comes in and you realize the pressures that come with it, that especially for us women, we just let it all go. We just let it all go.
Let's listen to Zainab now. Zainab,
Yeah,
what are your thoughts?
I agree with both of you all, and I want to, the operative word in everything that you said was pressure, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think that, for as long as I've been here in Ghana, there's this thing where it's like, if you hit 25 and you're not married and you don't have a kid, you're looked at as if you're a witch, right? And so what happens
Is that right?
That's a witch.
Which is 23? Which is 23?
I never told you I love you before.
You're even 19.
All right, Zainab.
So, like, I'm past 30, and I'm not married. I don't have any kids.
You
And
look
yeah,
19.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's water, actually. But yeah, so I mean, there's that pressure, specifically in African communities, to make babies, and then so what ends up happening is they end up falling in their professional lives, what have you, whatever. Now, for someone like myself who is single, no kids, I can give all of my life, which I've pretty much done thus far, to work. And so before I came in here, when the question was asked, do I believe in work-life balance? Yes, absolutely. Because, for someone like myself, I can get a phone call at 3 a.m, breaking news, come in, and I can come in. I don't have any ties to anything. But then after listening to Gloria's story, I can't even imagine the pressure it must be to be a wife, to be a mother. You have to
A mother
come
of
to
3.
work. A mother of 3. Wow. I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't know how working mothers do it. And I mean, absolutely, something is going to have to give. At some point, I think that even as early as 30 years ago, women weren't CEOs of companies, they weren't executives at Fortune 500s, and so now what we're seeing is women are given the opportunities to be in the boardrooms, to make executive decisions, and what comes with that is the sacrifice. I mean, it's not an excuse that, I have to pick up my kid from school at 4 p.m. You want this position, you want this title, you need to be here. And so I can only imagine that your family is going to suffer. But I think when it's all said and done, because, my mother, she worked 2 jobs to put all of me and my sisters through school. When the kids grow older, they'll see that, oh, my mother did sacrifice, and maybe she wasn't there for me. Maybe she missed my football game or what have you. But they'll understand in the long term. So sure, maybe work-life balance isn't. I'm not going to say it's impossible. It can be done, but it's hard. But I think if you think long term, you'll be fine.
You have spoken some very true things, Zainab. What were you going to say?
My argument is that life is about trade-offs. Somebody trades the fact that they want to excel in their career, so they don't want to have a husband and a child. That is just life. Life is about trade-offs. So when you focus on the fact that somebody who's chosen to have a husband and a child and a career, we can't necessarily have it all. When people ask questions like, Oprah Winfrey, you can have it all. No, people just can't have it all. You just need to have trade-offs. And once you choose to go in a certain direction and choose not to have like a family and everything, that is a direction you've taken. And even that direction has its stresses.
Yes, because who wants to, there's a song that asks this question. I hope you dance. I don't know if you know that's a Miley and a woman. Like, who wants to look back on their years and wonder where all those days are gone?
Yes.
Do you want to be at work, and then you get to the top and they say it's very lonely at the top.
It is.
And then you go all the way to the top, and then you are something years old, and you are, I don't know, alone with your other alone friends.
Wall hangings and paintings.
I don't know, with your cats in your home and your that's a bad joke. But
sorry.
Or do you want to be home, go to all the PTA meetings, go and pick up the kids at 4:00 when work closes at 5, so you're leaving work early and you're not climbing up the corporate ladder like you'd like to, or even if you're running your own business, you're not doing it as well as you'd like to because you want to be super mom, and then you grow, and then you get to some point and you go for the old school reunion, the joy of FM school old school reunion, and you see your friends and they arrive and they come in all their glory and their big cars, and you guys are exchanging call cards, and you see, oh my God, this friend of mine, she's doing so well, she was my classmate, or we're working together in the same company when I started that's when they started popping the babies, and then and then this happened and that happened. Both ways, it's if you decide to focus or put all your energy in one aspect of it, there is a possibility that one day you look back and wonder, oh my God, where did all these years go? Or, and here's the best part. Sometimes we're able to, or we focus on work, or the kids, husband, and you forget about yourself. And before you know it, you're old. And you realize, look, I probably not taking good care of myself. I really never did all the things I wanted to do, didn't travel all the places I wanted to. I didn't go for my friends' parties, and it was never at Witchhair's wedding. I missed this, I missed that. And all you have is your small circle, just your nuclear family, and all your friends are gone. So the question is it possible for us, all of us, to have it? To have it. Have a good balance. This is my work. I'm good at it. I'm excelling. This is my home. It's beautiful. It's clean. I clean my home. There's food in my house. My children are fine. I mean, children or no husband, whatever, life. My parents see me. My mom knows that I still love her, and I still have a hobby. I can still go and play tennis. Like my life is good. Is it possible to have it like that?
It's possible. Before I answer the question, let me put this through. For every woman out there who has children, they would agree with me that there is absolutely nothing that can trade off when you come home and see your children who run to you with their arms around your legs and say, "Mommy, welcome." Or mommy is home. There's absolutely,
even if there's no food and there's no lights,
there is absolutely nothing that can trade off.
Are you sure?
I'm telling you now.
It sounds like it will be.
That's before I answer your question.
Wait. It sounds like that would be very nice if they have eaten, they're well fed, and then there's light at home. But when they come home and there's no light and they haven't eaten And Charlie, you now are bre. You're too tired to even hug them. That's the thing.
No.
You go and work and you come home and your kids are asleep.
Yes.
And you wake them up at 6 o'clock and put them in the car to
It
go
happens,
to school
but
because
even if it's once
have
a
to go
week,
to work.
once a week that you get to have that moment with your children or with your child, I bet you there is absolutely nothing that can trade off that one.
Okay.
Now, let me come to your question.
Yes.
The possibility of having a work-life balance in whatever area you choose is possible.
Okay.
Plan towards it and remain committed to it. It is
Okay.
possible. It may take time. It may take a lot of effort. In fact, in the short term, you will think it's never possible. But plan. Have it on your wall. Have it in your mind and plan towards it. I think it is possible. I think it's possible. I'm trying it. It's possible. It's
You're
possible.
doing it. How
Yes.
do you do it?
So, like when I started talking, I was mentioning that at every given opportunity, I try to create memorable times with my children, with myself. Let me give a typical example. When I got married, I wanted to learn how to bake before getting married.
Okay.
I wanted to go to catering school and learn how to bake and do cookies for my children. And it's something I really, really cherish. Forget the targets. Whoever knows me shouldn't feel surprised. But I really wanted to learn how to bake. Up till now, I haven't learned how to bake. But once in a
They're
while...
ready to make cookies at the mall. You just have to put them in the
No,
pan.
I don't. I want to do it myself. I want to add those eggs and the milk and the sugar myself and bake it
You
for
make
my
some
kids.
of us look bad.
No.
Every week, Gloria does this.
So that's me. And it's important to my achievements as a person, as a mother, as a working woman. I want to be able to go to the market and meet my targets, hit that 10 million, hit that 20 million, come home and still have the affection of my family and my husband.
And Gloria.
And I think I'm trying it.
When do you sleep?
Oh, sleep, you have to make time for it.
Exactly. Like, how are you going to do all of that and still take care of yourself and still be able to get home, clean your makeup, put what do you call it?
You can't have
A
it all.
facial,
No,
like a
what do you
mask.
call it?
Now you can't have
Put
it
the
all.
mask on your
Oh,
face.
yes.
Do the avocado.
No.
Wash your face with warm water. Then use cold
Now,
water.
those ones are
then
extreme.
use moisturizer.
I don't even try those
before
ones.
you sleep.
Those ones are extreme.
You know, is it still possible to have time for yourself in the middle of all of that? I want to read a message that Serena Williams put up on her
Great.
Instagram
Great.
account earlier this week. She said, this is Serena Williams, there's Serena Williams. Okay. Last week was not easy for me. Not only was I accepting some tough personal stuff, but I was in a funk. Mostly, I felt like I was not a good mother. I read several articles that some postpartum emotions can last up to 3 years if not dealt with. I like communications best. Talking things through with my mom, my sisters, my friends let me know that my feelings are totally normal. It's totally normal to feel like I'm not doing enough for the baby. We've all been there. I work a lot. I train. I'm trying to be the best athlete I can be. However, that means although I have been with her every day of her life, I'm not around as much as I would like. Most of you moms deal with the same thing. Whether I stay at home mom or working, finding the balance with the kids is a true art. You are true heroes. I'm here to say that if you're having a rough day or a rough week, it's okay. I am too. There's always, I think tomorrow she means like TOM. So this is a tweet, an Instagram post I saw on Serena Williams' handle. And I was thinking, whew, she has so much money. She
Yes.
can pay for everything. And she's complaining about what? Not having a good balance. Then what about the rest of us? Who are now struggling to get the money? You see? Because sometimes I feel like women have this ideal whatever in their minds that if I'm able to get this, then maybe I can relax and then I can, have more time for the kids, or then I can have more time for myself, or then I can travel with my family, But when I look at a woman like her, who in my mind over here in Ghana, all the way in Accra, Teshi, I think this woman has it all, and she probably has it all. She can decide when to go and train or when to go and do this and that, and she has a situation. Then the rest of us, we have a long way to go. But anyway, Gloria, you made your point. Which
There's something about when every time, like, okay, so
Don't mention my name.
Okay, let's just
Where
focus on
comes
this.
here makes all of us look bad.
Let's just focus on another direction. As you go through life, like I said before, there are actually certain women there who do not have husbands and children.
Yeah.
But they are not able to cope generally with family, with life. There are lots of dynamics in as one person's life. How do you move from there to have a balanced life? That is the most important thing, because there'll be new additions. If you ever get to have the husband and the child, you will have to have a balanced life with the husband and child. But getting the fundamentals correct makes it a bit easy for you to go through life's changes. Nah.
Fundamentals.
No, but
She's coming to it.
like Na said, when do you have the time to take care of yourself? Sometimes, arguably, you have to be a bit selfish. Fine, there are some people who do not have time for their children, who do not have time for their husbands, and they need to excel in work. But then if your cup is not full, you will not be able to show that love to the people around you. Because people will actually feel the love when you feel the love yourself. When you give off to everybody around you, you end up lacking significantly for yourself. And that's when you fall into the black hole and you get into depression and you get stressed. So the most important thing is to fill your cup, not always to the brim, but there should be a little things that when you do for yourself, it makes you feel whole. Enough to do for somebody else. Some people love exercising.
Some people like cute dresses.
Some people like cute dresses. I should tell you how
And
I
they,
this dress.
and they spend 80% of their salaries on cute dresses.
I
don't mention your name.
Nah. Some people pay for other people's school fees, because when you come to a certain age, you just realize that
school fees got to do with
because
dresses?
I know what direction now is taking to. As I was saying, as I was saying,
Okay.
that life has its challenges,
listeners
and
should see the
there should be there should be
It's a
some
beautiful
fundamentals.
concept.
There should be some fundamentals that keep you whole.
Yeah.
And when you have those, when you get to know yourself as you're growing up, I mean, in your 20s, there are lots of confusion.
Yeah.
But when you get to a certain age, maybe in your 30s, you figure it out. You figure there's certain things that when you do for yourself, it makes you feel whole, and you'll be able to give a lot to other things.
Yeah.
So you have to prioritize those things that you do that make you feel whole.
And you should be able to afford them.
It has-
Zainab, what do you think?
I really, first of all, Serena Williams, if you're listening, I commend you. I know
She's
not
listening.
easy. So, Gloria, I commend you. Beyonce,
Thank you,
I
thank
commend
you.
Please commend me.
I commend you too, because it's not easy for a single woman.
Exactly.
But we'll get into that in a minute. Yeah. But I want to go back to what you were saying about, I don't want to look back on life and be like, man, I should have had kids. And then for the woman with kids, she doesn't want to look back and say, I could have furthered in my career. Listen, the grass is always going to be greener on the other side. And I
Exactly.
think that you
Yeah.
just need to accept that this is the path that God wanted you to take, and that's where you're going to be. I don't have any regrets in my life. My mother and my father, every single day, I want grandbabies. It's not up to me. It's up to God, right? So just do what you can do. And then I want to also because I'm just so fascinated by your story. What do you think takes the back burner? The career, the husband, or the kids?
Herself.
Or yourself? Yeah.
Myself.
Yeah.
I've been married for close to 5 years. Can I confess
Yeah.
that I haven't had a spa treatment after my wedding? Nah. Not because I can't afford it.
You don't have time.
There's no,
You
just
see,
no time.
that takes me back
I
to what
ha-
I say. You have to have some fundamentals, because I have a sister.
No, not because
Who
I
has
can't.
3 kids?
Can I talk about your sister?
Who has 3 kids, and it tries to prioritize the fact that she needs to have
a
this little bit,
time for
because
herself.
you end up giving off too much.
I'm not bothered with it.
Okay.
If that's where your first point comes in, that if you put a title to it, if you make it your problem, then it becomes a problem. But I am happy where I am. I couldn't attend a very good friend's wedding last Saturday. I had to ask my husband to do that for me. And sorry, Selom, sorry. I just couldn't make it. I was tired and sleepy, and he opted to help. And I was going to say that with Serena, I realized the husband helps a lot.
That's
and
what you
so
see on
a
social
good
media.
support system also comes in here. if you have a very good support system, be it a sister or a husband or whoever it is,
Yeah.
it helps.
Yeah.
It helps.
It does.
It helps.
All right. Let me take some messages on WhatsApp now. Our number is 0244340437. Please send us a message. We would like to hear from you. I'll read some messages coming in now. All right. Let's see. Hello, Ma. Hi. I believe
That's a lot.
we all have responsibilities, but what matters is how we organize ourselves to meet the demands of a balanced life. It's priority, and we choose whether we want to have a balanced life, juggling between needs and wants. Women generally seem to have more needs than wants, and this makes it a bit more tough. But prioritizing well will solve the problem of lack of imbalance in life. Get a helpful husband. Wink. And that's from Mike in the USA. All right. I like the end. Get a helpful husband. All right. This reminds me of something Whitney Boachi-Mensah once said as a forum she spoke at. She said, look, if you're looking for a husband look for a man who loves children and not a man who tolerates children. Because there are men who can tolerate the child around them. You know, when they see babies, they can tolerate the children for some time. But just for some time. And then after that, come for your child. You don't want that. No, you don't want that. So I absolutely agree with you, Mike. Thanks for sharing. We have exactly 20 minutes to go, and I promised that I was going to activate the phone line, so I'll do so. I'll do so in exactly 5 minutes. So you can keep your messages coming in, and then I will let you call in and talk to us as well. Now, I'll take some of your messages coming in on social media. I love you too. All right. Here are some messages. Hello, Na. Work-life balance is for rich people. We hustlers have to go all the way. Working. Let's not throw dust into the eyes of innocent girls coming up. All right. Owusu Kukwa says, now I'm not going to say anything about All right. I don't think I can read this on radio, but Charlie, guys, seriously, Owusu Kukwa, I got your message. Thank you so much. All right. Becca Safo says, yes, now why not? Madam, please, it's possible. Okay. Patience says, now it's possible. I can't wait to hear this discussion. All right. It's ongoing. Okay. Kuku Adam says, nah, it's possible if you have a husband who would give you a hand. All right. Thanks for sending that in. All right. Here's a message coming in on our WhatsApp line. See, life, like one of your panelists said, is about choices. You need to make a choice and stick with whatever the ripple effects are. But you simply can't eat your cake and have it. Remember, there's an Akan proverb that says, Wudi weni mienu she twa bakumwa ebo. Now that I figured it out, let me speak it. Let me speak Akan. Wudi weni mienu she twa bakumwa ebo. And that's 4K.
That be near Nabono. Twana ana weni no.
Omube decided. Omube decided your bebo.
Do you understand that one?
I don't.
If you look into a bottle with both of your eyes, okay, so basically you cannot look into a bottle with both of your eyes. You need to use one.
Oh, I see.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there's an actual experiment going on in the studio right now. So what he's saying basically is that you have to choose one, the one you want to use to look in the bottle at a time.
I agree.
And then you can move it
100%.
to the next one at another time. Can we have it all? That's the question. 0302-216-541 is the number you can reach me on. Please call me. I'd like to hear from you. How are you doing it? Do you know someone who's doing it? Is it possible? 0302-216-541. So, Gloria, what do you think about my friend's advice? That the moment you start having children as a woman, consider igniting your entrepreneurial genes, wake them up,
So
and consider
true.
doing your own thing. Because if you decide to stay in corporate or go into corporate or work for someone, if you succeed at your job by being present whenever you need it, someone else will be raising your kids.
I agree. In fact, in that time, you would realize that there's so much pressure, there's so much tiredness. You want to just get out of the place. And so the only next best thing you can think about is going into your own business where there's flexibility. And that happens.
Isn't that harder?
Well, in the
Entrepreneurship
beginning, it looks good. You're thinking, okay, it's my own job. I decide to go there at 9 or 8. Of course, in the long term, it has its own detriments, but it looks easier to have your own control over businesses that you've put your capital into than in somebody else's business. So at the point it will come up. That being said, please let us not limit this to just family and its pressures. You can actually make it. It may take time, like I said. It may take time. If you're in a business or if you're in your working career and you're probably in a baby making time, make it a mindset.
What time is that?
Baby making time. The next 2 years or the next 3 years of your life, you know that, okay, I've set it aside to give birth to 2 children or 4 or 3 children. Make it a point. My trick is a mindset. This is something that other women have gone through from Adam's time till now. I'm not going to be the only one who will go through
So
it.
we must all hustle, must we? I mean, can't I have it easy? Must I have it hard? Because everyone has been able to go through it.
What are you going to do if you're spitting up?
Let me talk to Jeff, calling from Nkoko. Hello, Jeff.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, thank you for calling us.
Well, what I want to say is it is possible. However, the problem is you really wouldn't have time for the child. So, in my situation, I'll prefer my wife, will stop working and then I'll work to feed the family so that she can have time to pick up her baby. And that's exactly what is happening with me as I speak.
Okay. How does your wife feel about that? Does she feel she's missing out on work? Is she happy staying at home?
It's a necessary evil, so we have to go by it.
Okay. All right, Jeff. Thank you for sharing. 0302-216-541 is the number to reach us on. And my WhatsApp line is blinking, blinking, blinking. Let me take a couple of your messages. All right. We take life too serious. We stress too much to be on top. Don't forget, it's more painful when you fall from the highest heights. We should not forget, we make a living by what we get, and we get a life by what we give. So trying to get everything only makes us live, but we will not live, but we must not live, but rather have a life. Okay, so you don't have to live, you should have a life. Raymond calls us from the United Kingdom. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Raymond. Thank you so much for
Hello.
calling us all the way from the UK.
Yeah. Thank you for picking my call all the way from Ghana.
It's a pleasure. So, what do you have to share?
Ladies, yeah, you ladies, man, you're really making my night. Now, you know what? What
Tell
I think
me.
about this is, ladies you can't have it all. The only way you can have it all is when you're running your own business. Because let me use the UK for instance, right? If you are here with your wife and your wife wants to maybe aspire at a higher level in management, maybe in a business, and you have a kid, who is going to pick the kids from school? Because in the UK, you can't leave the kid up to a certain age. Not like in Ghana where you can leave a child maybe 10, 11 years, we all used to do. You can walk back home alone, play around with your friends. In the UK, it's not possible. So the child has to grow to maybe about 18 years when he or she is out of the house before you can have that privilege of not coming home early, maybe staying at home, staying at work for long. Yeah, but if you are running your own business, then you run the whole show. You decide when you can come back, look after your kids. At the same time, be working as well. You understand me? Yeah, that's the thing. But your friend, your other friend on the show will say, well, for 5 years he's not had a spa.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're going to do something about it this weekend. Don't worry.
I've been married for 16 years, and now, and my children, one boy, one girl. Right? The boy is 14, and the girl is 10 years. They're all back home in Ghana now. Look, now I never saw them growing up.
Oh.
I never saw any of them growing up.
Oh.
I've never stayed with them for even a year before. Never.
Oh my.
It hurts. But sometimes, a man has to do what a man has to do to keep the family going.
You should come see them sometime.
Oh, yeah.
Where's your wife, though?
No, I come to see them every 6 months. I can't move to see them.
Is your wife with them at home?
Yeah, my wife is with them at home.
Okay,
yeah.
so you're supporting
6 months,
them.
I come back home, spend some time with them, and, yeah.
All right.
But please, so tell your friend, 5 years,
She'll do something about it. Thank you so much for sharing, Raymond. We appreciate your call. All right, Gideon sends the message. He says, "Nah, please marry helpful men." All right, Gideon. The corporate ladies or a woman must consider their husband's career. It becomes simple when the husband is supportive, and it's as simple as that. It's not rocket science. Thank you for sharing. 0302-216-541. Call me. I'll be happy to speak to you. Gloria, I see you. Great conversation. Hello, now. So a rich woman is complaining about being a mother and a wife. The poor one is envying her lifestyle, thinking all is well. We all have our battles we are dealing with daily. Exactly. Make time, have a break, visit a garden, go to the forest. I did that for a friend and they loved it. We drove to a brewery one Saturday after church and they loved it. I'm single and I have learned a lot from the lives of others. You don't have so much to enjoy. You don't have to have so much to enjoy leisure. Decide now. And that's from McCusby Anthony texting us. Thank you so much. I've got Afi on the line. Hello. Hi, darling. Could you please turn down the volume on your radio set?
Right.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Better. Talk to me.
Okay. So I have some submissions. One is that I think the issue of work-life balance is really an issue for everybody. And because sometimes you're single, but you still don't have a balance. You are male, but you still don't have a balance. And you're married and you don't have a balance. So it's really an issue for everyone. Now, for mothers, I think the question also is, what is your all? And that is where the issue is. So if your all is being with your children, is nurturing them and taking care of them, then that is your all. That means that even if you have a job and you're at the top, you will not be happy. If your all is to be at the top, what we want to call top, and you're there also and you are not making time for family, then also you will not be happy because then you don't be with the family. So really, it's your all. If your all
Okay.
is done, then that's what you want. Yes, so you find the balance there, and that's your all.
Okay.
You can have that or not have that. So that's my submission. I
All
would
right.
also add that for working mothers, especially those of us who work outside the house, there's a guilt part always. If you're unable to, as I'm talking to you, I'm on my way home.
Yeah.
And it's this late, right? But if you have help and you should get trusted help, that's one.
All right.
It should actually come from your husband if your husband can help.
Yes.
It can pay for it if you can pay for it.
Yes.
And be nice for people to help you. I think that's one of
Yes. Unfortunately, your connection is really bad and I can't hear you well. So I've had to cut the call. Apologies to you. I'll be glad if you called back. But I've got another call on the line. Way calls from Accra. Hello, Way.
Hey.
Hi, Way. Is this Way?
Yes, Way.
Oh. So Way is Waychair's twin sister.
Hey.
Hi. Thank you so much for calling the show.
Thanks for answering my call. I think you guys are discussing a very, very important topic. And for me in corporate Ghana and being married and having a kid, I think it basically bottles down to priorities and understanding the fact that, yes, I believe I can have it all, but at different times of my life. So now I want to have a family and I want to have a wonderful relationship with my husband. So it's about really finding the balance and making sure that it's working for me at this point. And yeah, basically that's what I would say. Finding a balance and making sure it's working for you.
At various points in your life. Okay. I think the call dropped. Now, Way makes a good point. Yeah. You can have it all, but not all at once.
Yes.
I didn't think of it that way. Thanks for sharing. All right. Let me read a message from a texter who's texting from England. It says, "Now, why aren't you reading my text? I am so sorry. I'm going to read your message now. Ladies, a woman must learn to discuss their dreams and visions with their men before they marry them. Any man who has not got his own vision will never help you achieve yours if you fail to discover they are visionless. Our current generation requires that men support their women to also survive." And that's from Prodeo, Leeds, England. Thanks for sending that in. So talk about it before you get married. So you don't get married and then you feel like, your partner doesn't understand. Okay. All right. Hello, Na. This is Yao listening from Ikropong. This is my first time listening. I love it. Yao, we love you right back. Thank you for listening and always tune in. We're on at Wednesdays at exactly 7 p.m. Okay. You ladies are making the topic real and practical. If husbands will pay wives for housekeeping and caring for the children, so they tend to get money to take care of themselves. I mean, having the money for a spa and even a manicure, career wife and mothers they suffer. Oh. Aku. God bless your mouth. Okay, Nana is calling from Hacho. Hello, Nana.
Hello.
Hi, Nana. You're live.
Hi, thank you. My contribution is that I think life is just a matter of choices, and there's an opportunity cost for everything. You can't have all at the same time. So in order to have the work-life balance, when you're making your choices, you make sure that you're not always choosing work, and then on the other hand, you're not also always choosing your life. Otherwise, you never achieve anything, and you never get that balance that you need.
All right. Thank you so much. I think that's along the line that Way's comment as well. I'm going to pick up my last call now from Ben calling from Medina. Hello, Ben.
Yeah, now, good evening.
Good evening to you too. Thank you so much for calling.
That's okay.
You're live.
You girls are doing well. Or you mothers are doing well.
We mothers, thank you.
Now, I hear people, a few of the callers and then some of your panelists keep saying, a lady doing her own job, as in self-employment, has a better chance of managing her family than somebody who is into, for instance, a much more professional job. But I beg to differ because, whether you are working on your own or you are working for somebody, it's about your ability to juggle it out. Because you may be running your own business, but you may be so pressed to also ensure that the business survives, such that it's not a guarantee for you to still keep your home. I myself and my wife, we have 3 kids of our own. She's doing great because we have 3 kids of our own, and we have adopted more or less three people. So she has to manage 6 kids in our home. She's working on her own, as in her own business, but it's not easy. It's still not easy trying to juggle everything out. So it is having to do your own job still doesn't guarantee the fact that you can keep a home. But God has blessed women so much that you are able to multitask. So that's my point. It's about your ability to manage it some way, somehow well.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. God has blessed you men too. You can also juggle it. So help us. Thank you. We love you. All right. So we're going to have to wrap up now. We have exactly 2 minutes to close the show. 1 hour came by so fast. I'll start with you, Zainab. What would be your concluding remarks after hearing from everybody, our callers, our texters?
Honey, my dear, I beg, just live your life.
See, she's trying to sound Ghanaian.
I
beg.
If you want to be a career woman, be a career woman. If you want to have kids, have kids. If you want to do both, you can, as Gloria proved. Just, live your life. It's too short.
Okay. Yeah. Gloria?
Yeah, life is too short.
It is, isn't it?
It's too short.
Yeah.
Just do what you do and do it best. That's it.
Yeah.
Just remember there are choices, there are consequences to every choice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which,
work-life
you have
balance.
all of their minutes that they didn't use. So
work-life balance is not only screwed towards people who have kids and children. I've been trying to emphasize this for a long time and throughout the whole discussion. Every life has to be balanced, and it's very important to have some fundamentals, I said before, and you can't have it all at the same time. So you have to fulfill your priorities, have some priorities, and focus on it. And that's just it.
And
I think it's a conversation somebody should have with their boss or with the HR, because HR is supposed to be helping us. So it's more conversations that we are supposed to be having when it's time for you to have a baby and stuff like that, how you're going to balance the two.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing, ladies. I appreciate you guys so much. And for all of you who called, thank you. And your messages were also very helpful to the discussion. It's exactly 2 minutes to the top of the hour. My name is Na Ashoko. This has been Strong and Sassy on Joy 99.7 FM. We're on next Wednesday at exactly 7 p.m. And as we wrap up the show, let me just say this that I learned this week. That you should always leave loved ones with kind words because it just might be the last time you see them. I hope you never forget that. Have a wonderful evening and enjoy the rest of our shows. Good night.